Okay.
Universal credit.
You're tapped into something bigger than the universal credit. Why have you all gone quiet? We're not starting. Carry on. No, it's all right. Ignore me. It's another job of mine. Are we all happy?
Yes.
Are we all happy?
Yes.
Ah.
Yes, I am, yeah. Who's going to say this? Oh, right. Don't think I'm okay. Well, presumably it's the same. Use the dentist card half as well. Yeah, I just felt I got a bit off colour 24 hours afterwards, but no, friends of mine had much worse reaction. But I just felt very tired because I've got this. I had a blood test a few weeks ago, and the doctor said I've got low calcium. So she's put me on this prescription dose of vitamin D once, 2 capsules once a week. So I've got hope I've got another blood test on it. So hopefully, yeah. You know, this weather got a bit better. Do you know I asked it because I said here.
No, they're all still there. We'll have to go through with it. I get very nervous when the congregation goes so quiet.
It's gone quiet.
Yes.
Very quiet.
We thought they had all gone home.
We've got to work out which one of us they're talking about. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
And a lovely warm welcome to your Wednesday service here in Paul Christian Spiritualist Church. Big welcome to those watching us online, and thank you to Pauline, who is your online host today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Great delight to have such a wonderful couple back with us today. Irene, don't look at me shocked. Irene and David Jackson. Absolute huge support throughout the lockdown. We were very limited on where we could secure our mediums from, and a lot of mediums didn't want to come out. David and Irene never let us down. Absolutely beautiful. In fact, David and I took the remembrance service here in the closed church. It was a bit strange.
Daunting.
Anyway,
It was good though.
absolutely wonderful. Pleasure that you're back with us. So if I could ask you please, David, for the opening prayer. Thank you, sir.
Lawrence. Thank you. Good afternoon. Well, it's always a joy to be in this beautiful church and sanctuary and to be with Lawrence and all of you today for our service. And each of us has a part to play, don't we? Always say this. And also we welcome our friends who will be with us today online, because their love and their light, along with ours, is so important to bring our world of matter and the world of spirit together in a very special way. So may I now, as we begin our service, ask each of you to join me for the opening prayer, to close your eyes on the physical world around you, to gently go within, and to be aware of your breathing. You're breathing in and out. In and out. With each breath inwards, symbolically we draw the light and the love of Spirit to us and around us, deep within. With each breath outwards, see your love as light, flowing from your heart center, filling this, our beautiful church and sanctuary, with a vibration of peace, at oneness, but most importantly, of light. And those of our brothers and sisters joining us online, in the comfort of your own homes, you join us on that lovely vibration that each of us helps to build. Let us pray. O great Spirit, Mother, Father, God, we come before you with love and sincerity in our hearts, to firstly give thanks for each day of life that you bring us, and for the blessings, light and love we each receive to help us to enjoy or endure the experiences that we encounter on our individual pathways, the good times and the bad, the joyous times and sad, times of great light, but sometimes of darkness too. Within our prayer, we also thank you for the knowledge we have been blessed with, that life is eternal, our world of matter and that of spirit, intermingling and interpenetrating one with the other, and those with whom we have built bonds of friendship and love with, whilst together here upon the earth plane, who now reside within the higher consciousness of the spirit world, are indeed only a thought distant from us at any time, proving that physical death does not break those bonds. A wonderful truth that brings us the greatest of comfort throughout our life. And so we welcome them and invite them to join us on the vibration of friendship and oneness and light we each help to build here today and within our own homes. We also include within our invitation those souls we name our guides, helpers, guardian angels, and teachers. Our hearts reach out in compassion, caring, and concern for all who are suffering at this present time within our material world, whether members of the human family, the animal kingdom, the natural world, or Mother Earth herself. And ask, O Divine Parent, that you will reach out your open hand of healing towards them. And we thank those within the spiritual realms who are your intermediaries and who bring your beneficent healing balm, loving cup, and divine help to the earth plane and the life it supports where need exists. We thank you that we are able to join together in this most natural of ways, free from victimization or ridicule, and ask that you will bless our service and each of us gathered here or at within our own homes for the service as we go through our time together. Amen.
Amen. And now, if you care to, please join in with saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thine will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not when in temptation, but deliver us from all evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, for ever and ever. Amen. Thank you all. David, sir, if I could ask you for your reading and address.
Reading
today,
and
please.
address. Thank you
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can I pour some water first?
Yeah.
Has it turned to Chardonnay yet?
Not yet.
Well, time will tell.
If you can manage Prosecco, I'm sure there's a few ladies in the back row who love that.
Thank you. Just a sip. Thank you very much. Now then, you see this statue here of a little, the praying hands. Everyone know, can anyone see those? I asked Lawrence to put those on the altar for us, because many of us are associated with the healing ministry, aren't we? In this wonderful movement we call spiritualism. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course we know that all the thoughts that we send out of love, caring, compassion and concern can help to make this world a better place for us being here. That's the wonderful thing, isn't it? So I was going to rely today, the theme being, of course, on healing. Because if we look at the media today, the newspapers or watch the television news, whatever it may be, there's a lot of pain in our world at the moment, isn't there? There's lots of war, and there's aggression everywhere. And we try as much as we can, as spiritualists and others, of course, throughout the world, we try through prayer and meditation to bring a brighter light into the world, more of a caring vibration, don't we?
Yeah.
Of course we do. So this is a story, first of all, about the praying hands. Has anyone ever heard this story, by the way? How the praying hands came into being as symbolic of healing? No? So that's good. So you're going to learn a lovely lesson today, aren't you? May I read it to you? It's called The Praying Hands. And there were two brothers, Albrecht and Albert Dürer, both being gifted artistically. But because of their status in life, only one brother would be able to take the necessary schooling and tuition in order to bring his gift to its fullest development. And so Albert decided that he would let his brother Albrecht go to art college and learn all he could about his specialized subject. And when he was fully trained, this brother would then support him so that he could take his turn and go to the art college to study too. Meanwhile, he would take up employment to earn the money necessary to pay the fees, etc., for his brother Albrecht. Albert took all manner of work to support them both. He in lodgings, with Albrecht in college, for the many years that it took for him to reach the very pinnacle of his artistic skill. And some of the work Albert undertook during that time was of a very hard nature, labouring in all sorts of conditions and even mining. And the weather, of course, also played its inevitable part in causing him great problems with rheumatism and fibrosis to his joints, particularly his hands, which had also suffered injuries over the years of mining. Eventually, Brother Albrecht returned home, now a very successful artist. And as they embraced and celebrated their reunion, Albrecht said, "Now, brother dear, I can support you whilst you go off to college and study art like I have been able to." But the tears of joy they had earlier shared were turned to ones of sadness when Albrecht noticed his brother's hands, calloused, bruised, scarred, and stiffened by arthritis. It was soon realized it would not be possible for Albert to be able to draw and paint and study art as he had always longed. After pouring out their hearts to each other, Albrecht decided that he would complete a painting of his brother's hands and exhibit it wherever he was showing around the world. This he did, and it has become a very famous painting indeed. He supported Albert for the rest of his days, so that he need never again work and suffer the pain and discomfort that those years of toil had so cruelly inflicted upon him, especially his hands, and stopped him following his life's ambition to become a great artist, just like him. And so now, as we gaze upon the picture of the praying hands, we realize the symbolism of love, dedication, suffering, and pain depicted upon that incredible canvas. Did you like those words? It's a lovely story, isn't it? And it's very, very true, because Albrecht Dürer was a very famous artist, and his works are exhibited all over the world. But of course, many, many years ago, I think it's 400 or 500 years ago, they were on the earth plane. And so with healing in mind for our service today, for all of us, I want to read you some words that came to us. You know, we sit, as you may know, for trance when we are able, and sometimes a guide or some special person will come through and bring us words of encouragement. Does anyone else sit for trance here, by the way? Has anyone ever experienced trance, possibly? It's good, isn't it? It's lovely to have those words coming, as we say, from the guides and friends that we have in the spirit world. And it's always worthwhile developing that kind of mediumship. But anyway, these words came to us many years ago, and we used to record everything. So this is a transcript of a recording that we made. And it's from the Universal Healing Ministry. Words from a gentleman called White Wing, healing helper and friend. And he says, "Thank you, friends, for allowing me the opportunity of bringing you these words, which I hope will encourage you in your ministry and those who too are seeking to become instruments of the Great Spirit. The Universal Healing Ministry encompasses both our world of spirit and yours of matter, and consists of one great body of souls dedicated to easing suffering and pain in its multitudinous forms, whether physical, mental, or spiritual, and embraces all whose hearts and minds are open and sensitive to others' needs. Each of you, knowingly or otherwise, is part of that great healing force daily, which operates naturally through the outward flowing of unconditional love, and is free of the restrictions, barriers, or divisions your world sometimes unfortunately creates. For as you express compassion and concern for a fellow traveller on life's pathway, the divinity within you allows the Great Spirit's healing balm to flow, and you become an instrument of the Universal Healing Ministry via your thoughts, words of encouragement, or simply by a gentle touch. I would ask you to recall how many times your heart has been touched as you witness the loving, caring, gentle caress of a mother soothing away pain or distress from her child after knock or fall, as she holds it closely to her. Or similar times, you yourselves have experienced the feeling of warmth, protection, and well-being, as healing hands held yours within a warm embrace at times of need or reassurance. Many souls, when upon the earth plane and involved in a life dedicated to easing suffering, pain, and exploring ways of eradicating disease or sickness that plagued the human family, and who gained the knowledge, expertise, and understanding of the human body and its workings through medicine, surgery, and psychology, continue to influence your world of medicine today as they draw close to instruments they have found within your world of matter, through which to carry forward that knowledge gained from the past for those of the present and future. And so, dear friends, when you open your heart and your mind to the Great Spirit and ask to become an instrument of the universal healing ministry, you never know who will take up the invitation and become your friend and healing helper from my side of life. Always remember that whether you are able to physically become the conduit between our two worlds for the divine healing power of the Great Spirit to flow, or by the thoughts of love, light, compassion, or concern you send out onto the ether via prayer or meditation for all areas of life where there may be suffering in all its many facets. Both bring the same efficacy and well-being as the other. Never underestimate the power or potency of your higher mind consciousness generated during prayer or meditation. I leave you now. So they were the words from this gentleman who at the time gave us the name of Whitewing. And many of you today, as we're all together here or at home, are involved within that healing ministry now. Isn't that right? Because you know today, as we've sent out our prayers to open our service, and later on when Lawrence takes us for our absent healing, the power of your mind can be magical, can't it? Don't you believe me? It was the creative mind that has brought us into being. We are part of that great creative mind that we call God, and each of us has within us that which we call the spark of divinity, which is that part of God, isn't it? So, do we have to travel far and wide to find God at our time of day, you know, in the morning or maybe in the evening? How many people, I wonder, as I talk to you today, we always find we're very busy, and I'm sure all of you here are too, and we sometimes say our prayers when we go to bed. Does that make sense? And we lay our heads on our pillows. Does anyone else do this? And what happens? We start to say our prayers and we fall asleep. Is that right? And then you'll wake up and you'll feel guilty, won't you? And we have to start all over again. Does that make sense? But the power of our minds, as we join together today here for our service, all of us, all over the world, where there are those wonderful souls who meditate and who pray, the power of the mind can bring great changes into our world at this particular time, can't it? You know what I'm saying? You know, I think it's wonderful. And so each of us has our part to play during our lives in making the world a better place for us being here simply through the power of our minds. Isn't that wonderful? And I want to particularly reach out today to all areas of our world where there is war and where there is aggression. And as we pick up every day from the media, from our newspapers, I was wondering, I said to Irene today, I can't believe that how much war there is going on and anger in the world, and especially between religious groups. Is that right? You know? And I actually went onto the internet. Does anyone else do this, or is it just me? And I went through onto this site, and it showed me all the different areas in the world where religious groups are at war and actually hurting one another, killing one another, bombing one another, shelling one another, maiming one another. Is that right? And particularly at this time, we send out our prayers to all areas of the world, because they, in truth, are our brothers and sisters, aren't they? We are just one great family. We live here in beautiful Dorset. The millions of, how many billion are there now? 7.5 billion of us, spread all over this physical world, this material world of ours. But in truth, we have all been created by the same creative force that we call God. Is that right? Yeah. And luckily, within this wonderful way of life, I don't like to call it a religion, it's a way of life, a beautiful way of life that is the way of this life has been brought to us through spiritualism. We call it spiritualism, but it's just living in unity, in harmony, and in friendship and love with all our neighbours, our brothers and sisters, and all other areas of life. Does anyone wake up in the morning, hear the song of the birds? Isn't it wonderful? Doesn't it make you feel good? Doesn't it? Or to hear the rain falling on the earth, or the trees, the shrubs, the flowers, to be alive in this beautiful world of ours, and to think that we have this span of life in time, however many years it may be, and we're having a fair share, aren't we, Irene? We're having a fair share of years to make it a better place, modestly, we're not boasting, to make it a better place for us having been here. Isn't it wonderful? And I always say, by finding this way of life, which we call spiritualism, has shown us so much and given us so much upliftment and joy, and of course taken away the fear of dying, because you don't die, you just change, don't you? Transition. We just change, and we have to give up this physical body of ours, which we love dearly, don't we, as we look in the mirror each day? Is that right? But we'll have to give it up one day and go on in finer form into the spiritual realms and live again. Isn't it wonderful? Like little butterflies on wings of gossamer. But I want to actually reach out and tell you a little story. Anyone been to the Holy Land, by the way? Anyone? I'm looking around. One lady put her hand up. Well, we did many years ago. We had a beautiful time out there, and we went, I'm going to say this because of the news, and you'll see where I'm going, was the Wailing Wall. Anyone been to the Wailing Wall? Ladies been to the Wailing Wall. And it's been named the Wailing Wall because really of the angst, the energy that is within that wall by all those dear souls that go to the Wailing Wall regularly to pray, don't they? And what they do, I'd only found out today, they put little notes in the between the rocks, or the whatever the creases in the brickwork. And I thought, yes, that's because when we went, and Irene will confirm this, I was so pleased to be there, as you would be, wouldn't you? Was you pleased to be there? Of course you were. And luckily, it was a very busy day. They were celebrating something, or they were all dancing around holding this roller scroll or something, And it was a very special event. Anyway, I thought I'll never get to touch this wall because there were so many of them. And you're not going to believe this, but as I made my way with this little cardboard hat on towards the Wailing Wall, everybody looked round and made a pathway for me. And I felt, you know what I'm saying here? And I managed to get to the wall, and I placed my hands on the wall. And I thanked God that Irene and I had this holiday, been able to get to the Holy Land. We've seen many other places within, Jerusalem and the Lake Galilee and everything else. But to put my hands on the wall, and I started to give thanks, just a little prayer to say thank you. Thank you to Spirit, thank you to God for getting us to the wall. And then my hands started to swell. Did you touch the wall? Did your hands start to swell? And in the end, I got 2 rings on, and it's like, I'm not being rude, but my fingers swelled up like half a dozen pork sausages. And so painful, and I couldn't get my ring. Is that right, Irene? Mm. And it's just a story we want to tell you about energy and how important energy is, good and bad energy, what it can do. And in the end, I had to find a spring, a fountain with water to put my hands under, to cool them down, to get my rings off. And it was the energy, you see, energy that was in that wall of sadness, of angst, whatever it may be. And of course now our thoughts are with those people, aren't they? The Jewish people as much as the Palestinians. When my dad was in the war, anyone been in the war here, the last war? You're all too young, aren't you? You were, sir. Did you ever go to Palestine?
No, sir.
But the thing is, my dad was in, it was called Palestine, wasn't it? Do you remember? And then after the war, 1948, the big powers that there were at that time decided to create That's right. And that's where all the trouble really began. But anyway, what it is I'm trying to explain to you energy. And your energy that we create at home today with our service, you here today for prayer and meditation. Good energy, loving energy of light and of giving and of healing. Because we're all healers, aren't we?
Yeah.
You're all healers. Any of you here are mothers or grandmothers or whatever, you've had children and you've nursed that child, and the benefit, the warmth, the comfort that child has got from you. You know, I'm too old now, I can't remember when my mother used to cuddle me as a baby, but it's that loving that comes from you when you hold someone. And through this last 18 months, we haven't been able to do that, have we?
No.
That's been a bit dodgy, isn't it? But I mean, you know, we have, haven't we, Irene? We've cuddled each other a few times. I don't know. But the thing is the energy, how important your energy is today in our service and when you go about your daily lives, in your jobs, whatever it is, socially, with your neighbours, and energy that you give out, just in the most natural of ways. In your garden. Anyone love gardening? Of course you do. To be in that natural energy, isn't it? We're lucky. Where our apartment is, we got trees all round us. The energy of the trees. We've also got beautiful little birds that sing to us at 4 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? But it's that lovely energy. And when you go out into the garden, you see the flowers coming now, the spring, the early summer. Isn't it wonderful to be alive? And how fortunate we are to be in this particular part of the world, aren't we? Would you like to be in Jerusalem at the moment? Would you like to be on the West Bank or somewhere like that? In Gaza Strip? No. Think of the pain and the suffering and the children. My goodness. And the hatred that all this is creating for the future. And so it's important that people like us, whose hearts and minds are open, who care and who love the world and the people within it, doesn't matter what colour you are, what religious group you belong to, what politics you have, you know, rich or poor, it doesn't matter. We're all one family. And when we learn this through the philosophy of this wonderful way of life, we know that each of us is an instrument of the Great Spirit. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
I think it is. And when we go back to the spirit world, our guides, you know about your guides, do you? I hope so, because you've all got them, you know. You may not refer to them in your life, but they're there for you if you so want. I always say, we walk a pathway of life on the stage of life, and either side of that stage, in the wings, there are your guides, your helpers, your guardian angels, your teachers from the spirit world, waiting. When's he going to turn to me and ask me to help him or her? When are they going to turn to us, guys, and help, you know, ask us for our help? And many of us, through the human family, never ask, do they? They trust that somewhere along the way there is this God. They haven't got a clue what their God looks like, have they? Does that make sense to anyone here? But we know, don't we? Isn't it wonderful to know that other world exists and we can tap into it? How many of you sit for mediumship, for your healing? What do you think happens when you are there as an instrument of the healing ministry here in the flesh? You place your hands gently on a person's shoulders and you tune in, and then your healing helpers come close to you from the spirit world. Isn't it wonderful? And you feel that energy flowing through you and to the person you're trying to help, to heal, to bring upliftment and joy to, light to. And so it's a privilege for all of us to have found this way when millions of us within the human family never ever have a clue. And what happens when they go over, when they make their transition, the guides and helpers, the family of those that have gone before them, have to try to explain to them, help them, and bring them the healing that they need. Think of the many that go over dramatically through war and aggression, through man's sort of cruelty, greed, you know, whatever, and the trauma that that soul it is inflicted upon that soul, that spirit. And so many that go over that's happening now through the wars and aggression that's going on, when they go over in transition, children, men, women, you know, they go over, they have to receive a time of healing, of help, of rest, of regeneration of the spirit and the soul that has been so damaged through a physical life within those conditions of war and aggression. So all of us, even at home, we can sit on the side of our bed, in the lounge, on our armchairs, wherever it may be, in the garden, but send out all the time thoughts of love, compassion, caring and concern, not just for your own family and the loved ones you have here on the earth plane, your friends, but for the whole of the human family and for the animal kingdom too, because we're all interlinked. We're all part of that great creative mind, creative energy that we call God. Even you little birds, even the little animals and creatures of the animal kingdom, even the flowers and the trees and the shrubs, they're all beautiful energy that we all share to varying degrees. So aren't we important? Yes, we are, and especially at this time in our evolution. The human family is at disarray at the moment, isn't it? Don't you think so? And sometimes we weep. We actually cry. So if we're crying for others in the world, for the pain they're suffering, what do you think our friends in the spirit world are doing? What do you think they are doing? Thank you for listening.
David, thank you so much. That was absolutely beautiful. Some people may have noticed there's a slight change in the energies here within Paul Church. No longer will we be saying to our guests, our mediums, that you can only do 10 minutes of philosophy because people only want the messages. You know, the message from Spirit is spread through the philosophy, through the prayers, through the healing, through the meditations, and through the evidential messages. And that today has just highlighted exactly the right path. So thank you, David. That was beautiful. So we now go on to that healing part of the service we can all undertake ourselves. And as David just so eloquently and passionately put, we are all healers. We have that ability. The only thing that stops us giving healing is our own doubts about ourselves. So we must leave those doubts to one side. You link in with the awesome power of Spirit. And as we're seeing over the last year, it's been immense. All the old walls that we had put up have been torn down to open up that pathway to the light. So just sit here quietly, whether it be here within the church or at home, and just gently take your mind to an idyllic scene where you're sat in a beautiful meadow, the wildflowers growing here and there, and the meadow borders onto a little copse of trees, and in amongst the trees are all the birds and the wildlife associated with those lands. And as you sit there quietly contemplating this scene, just visualize those dear ones that you know walking towards you from out of the copse of the woods, and sending out that healing to greet them. And also that healing energy you can project further out into the world. Just go where your heart leads you. Don't be dictated to by anybody. You, each and every one of you, know where your energy is needed most. So take this time just to project it, to send it with love. back to where you started from. Bringing with you that love, that compassion, that healing energy which has flowed through you in service to those who you know have that need. God bless you all. Right, now I've knocked everybody out. Over once more to you for the evidence.
Thank you.
Just to remind people, if either David or Irene should come to you, it is permissible to lower your mask for the communication to take place and to flow.
Thank
Once
you,
more.
Lawrence.
Thank you,
Thank
darling.
you. Good afternoon, everybody. And it's lovely to be with you. And I'd like to start with you, my dear, with your scarf. You're looking at me.
Sorry, me?
Yes, you.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's not scarf.
That's right. I think you're still in the healing, aren't
Yeah.
you? The lovely atmosphere that Lawrence created. As I'm linking with you, I've got quite a few people coming around you at this time. I've got Mum and Dad here, and I've got Auntie that was close to you when you were a child, and I feel I've even got grandparents coming in as well. And as they're joining me here, it's as if they're bringing a happy atmosphere around you. Obviously, we've all been through a very difficult time, but they're saying that you've coped with the situation very well, and they're happy that we're all coming through this, you know. I feel with you that you weren't too well a while back, but as I say, I think with you now, it's as if things are really, livening up a bit, if I can say that for you. Is there a celebration coming up around you?
No, only thing is, 4 years ago my husband died this month.
Pardon?
4 years ago my husband died on the 29th of this month. So
Yeah.
I don't call it a celebration really.
No, that's right. But what they're doing here is they're coming in around you to lift you up at that particular time. But they're coming with this happy feeling because they want you to know that there is the other side. Obviously, when we lose a loved one, of your husband close to us and everything else, it's as if they want you to know that as they've passed over, that isn't the end of it. They come back to you, and I'm quite sure, because I feel with you that you feel spirit around you anyway, don't you? You feel them coming in really close to you.
I just talk to him like I talk to you or anybody else.
Well, that's right. I know you do, because I can see the aura that's around you. You've got a beautiful light all around you, and as the loved ones are coming close to you, they don't want you, excuse me, to go right down, if you know what I mean. But they're saying if you can, know that their love and light is around you, and they're bringing upliftment for you, that you will get through that time quite okay. Because what will happen, as I'm sure you will, you'll sit on that day of the anniversary, and then I'm quite sure you will feel the influence of your loved one drawing close to you. In fact, as I'm linking in here, I have got a gentleman coming in, and I'm feeling from he's very emotional actually. I haven't got words for you, but I'm quite sure that it's him that's with this group of people. So I want you to know that he isn't on his own, that he's with loved ones in the spirit world. And as I say, just from the feeling that he's bringing to me, there's emotion there. But I also want to say to you, from all this group, there's a lot of love and support coming to you, okay? But you already know this because, as I say, the lovely spiritual light that's all around you. So on that day, I'm sure that if you sit, as I know you would, that I'm sure you'll feel the influence of the loved ones around you and also of your husband that's passed, okay? And of course, the more you sit and tune in to this group of family that you've got in the spirit world and him, you'll get more and more evidence of them being so close to you, okay?
I feel him touching me anyway.
Pardon?
I feel him touching my head.
Well, that's right. They always try and bring, you know, if you're not clairvoyant, if I can put it that way, then obviously, you know, that they'll do anything to make you realise that they're there. And then once you acknowledge that, you say, well, I'm touching your hair, whatever, I know you're there, then that link builds stronger and stronger. So as I say, take that with a lot of love. I want to say a lot of love from the spirit world, okay? So I'll leave you with that.
Thanks.
Would you in nursing at all?
Nursing?
Yeah,
No, my mum was.
no, because your mum was.
Yeah, she was in nursing.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. I see a lady in a uniform here, and I've just seen that as I was leaving you. So she's definitely there for you, okay? I'd like to come to the lady in mauve, if I may. I've got Dad in spirit.
Yes.
Answer me, darling.
Yes.
Yes, okay. If I have your voice, then as I say, the link, it's like being on the telephone, you know. Yeah, and he's coming around you at this time because I feel with you that there's been a lot of changes going on around you, and I feel with you that you're drawing closer and closer to the spirit world, aren't you?
Most definitely.
Definitely, that's right. Did Dad have a throat condition? Breathing
Yes.
before he passed, that's right. I could just about hold on a minute. Because that's this gentleman's linking with me. It's as if there is a throat and chest condition here. But anyway, it's as they link with me, and then they remember the condition that they passed with, okay? He's not got it now, obviously. But as he's coming around you, he's saying here that he's very proud of what you've been doing over the last few months. So I feel that with you, as I said, you're drawing closer and closer to the spirit world. Do you work with crystals at all?
I do intermittently, yes, crystal healing.
Healing, is it? You use them for healing, that's good. Because what I'm seeing here is a black cloth with different crystals on it. But what I want to say to you is, I've got a helper that's building up by the side of you. This is a lady, beautiful lady, and this is a new helper that you've got coming in to you. You felt a difference around you.
Warm
Pardon?
even now. I'm going really warm even now.
Oh, you are? Oh, well, don't faint. Don't faint, because we don't want any of that. But as I say, and you've had this for a few months now, haven't you? And she's coming in now and she's actually showing herself there. Because what they're doing with you, they're taking you forward on your spiritual pathway.
Yes, definitely.
And I think with you, you've been asking
Yes.
for it, haven't you? Open up to me, haven't you? Because you want more and more of the spirit around you,
It's a
don't you?
calling.
Yes, that's right, a calling. Was you in a convent
No,
at
not
all?
in this life.
No, I've got a nun there with
Oh
you.
yes, I have a nun that comes around.
You have.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I've got this nun just building up the other side. So you're really, you know, being surrounded with spirit, which is wonderful. But there's plans ahead for you to take you forward. And what's going to happen is, as these helpers come in closer to you, then your work will open up. And I've got travel with you. When I say travel, I'm not talking about travelling abroad. I'm talking about going to different events to do your work. You've been asking for this, or you know about it. Come on.
Yes.
Yes or no? I don't
I'm
mind.
not clear, that's the thing. I know there's travel. But it's to do with work.
Yes,
Yes.
but with that, that will be combined with your spiritual work,
Yes.
because eventually you would like to do spiritual work and not your everyday work. Further
Yes.
on, you can't do it now, obviously, but I'm saying later on. And this is where this is building up to. You're learning, you're getting experience, you've got a stronger link, and that link is going to get stronger still with your helpers in the spirit world, okay? And that is it, you're going forward on your spiritual pathway, okay? Very exciting for you, very exciting.
I'm probably going to be busier in my retirement that's approaching than I've been for a while.
Absolutely, well that's something that you'll look forward to, isn't it? That's
I
something
can see that happening.
that you'll look forward to.
Thank you.
Can you take an elderly lady for me that you knew a few years ago that you would have spoken to on spiritual matters?
Probably a few, I'm not sure who you're
Yeah,
with.
I've got a small lady, a thin lady, with the face. I'm not getting the name for her, but she was quite intense when she spoke to
Yes,
you.
I know who you mean. I think.
Do you know?
Yes.
You know who I'm talking
I
about?
feel so.
That's right, that's right. Because she's coming here now and she wishes to link with you, and she's saying well done, well done. And you will think back to the conversations you had, and she taught you quite a lot in the early days,
Yes.
didn't she?
Yes.
That's right, that's right. And she comes here and she's very, very happy for all that you've achieved so far. And it's as if she's walking that pathway with you.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
Okay, so there's a lot for you, as I say, to look forward to. But material and spiritual have got to go hand in hand. But all the time you're edging closer and closer to your spiritual work, and keep the crystals going, because that's very important.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll leave you with that. I'll come to the lady, the girl. Lady, you look like a girl with your mask on, with the red cardigan on.
Oh, no.
Yes, I'd like to link with you.
When you said
And
girl,
as,
I was confused.
as I'm linking with you, I've got an older lady, I've got a grandmother linking in here, and I feel there's a strong relationship between you two, that's right. And as she comes here, she's very happy with the way that you're going forward, and I'm talking on a spiritual level here. I feel with this lady, she would have passed with a cancer condition. She did, didn't she? And also, was there a stroke?
Possibly.
Yeah, I feel that this side there was a stroke as well. But she was a lovely lady, obviously very poorly before she passed into the spirit world. And she's saying here that quite honestly she was really pleased at the end to pass. And she said she's really happy and contented, and there's a gentleman, a husband with her. That's right. And she says, you know, they're together, and as I say, it's lovely. And I'm also getting the outdoors with this lady as well, garden. It's as if she would have really enjoyed her garden. And she's got a lovely smiling face and everything. And she wants to reach out here and to give you a cuddle, you know. And she's saying, oh, she's a real pet. She's saying she was always lovely, as a grandmothers do, don't they? But anyway, she's very interested, as I say. And you're on a very spiritual pathway, aren't you? You're aware of spirit around you. Are you healing?
Yes.
You are. Are you a healer?
Yes.
That's right, that's good, that's good. And she's saying here, carry on with the good work that you're doing. And it's as if she's very, very emotional as she's linking with you. And she says, don't think I've left you, because I haven't. She said, we walk beside you. And I feel with you, I've got a holiday planned, or a trip of some description. You're thinking about it. You're thinking about it, aren't you? That's right, that's right. Well, I hope it comes for you. Everything's uncertain at the moment, isn't it? But anyway, I wish you well, and as I say, remember the loved ones that are around you, and especially your grandmother, because she is very, very close to you. Did you know a gentleman that passed in an accident?
Yes.
You did, a young man?
Yes.
That's right. I've got him coming in here, but he's not coming forward very close. Was this a motorbike?
Yes.
Motorbike, wasn't it? I could hear it, but as I say, I didn't see it at all. But he's coming around you, and you send thoughts out, don't you? And it hurt you quite a lot, didn't it, when he passed? Mainly because of the age, as I say, the young years. But he's saying here, I'm absolutely fine. He didn't want to go, but he's saying here that it was his own fault. Is that right? It was, he's saying it was a silly mistake, a silly mistake that he made, but he's saying that he's okay now, he's fine. And he's just saying here that it took him a while to understand that he had passed. His words had died, but as we know, it's past transition. And he said, I couldn't understand what was happening. He said it was like a dream. But he said there were lovely people here who helped me. And he said, I'm fine with it now. And I feel with this young man that he is also working with a healing ministry, if I can put it that way. Because what I'm seeing is young men and girls, some girls, but mainly young men, who are passing in that condition, accidents and all the rest of it. And he's training to help these young people as they pass. So he's saying, I'm busy, you're busy, and he's saying, we're still together, okay, but on a different level, obviously. Do you feel him around you?
At times, yes.
At times you do. Well, that will get even stronger, that knowing and the feeling that he is with you, because he's very, very close to you, okay. I'm going a little bit quick here because the time's getting on. I want to go to the lady at the back there with the white coat on. To you, my dear. Yeah, I'd like to link with you, if I may. I've got Mum and Dad coming in close to you here. Answer me, darling.
Yes.
That's right, they're both in spirit, aren't they? And they were a gentle couple, weren't they, Mum and Dad? It's as if they just quietly went along very happy together. Didn't expect an awful lot, but what they did have, they were very grateful for, weren't they? They're getting very emotional here as they're linking with you, because there was a lot of love from both of them, wasn't there, to you? And they're reaching out to you as well. And they're saying, we loved you when we were here, and we still love you now. I feel that there's an anniversary coming up connected with either one of them. There is, isn't there?
Yes, a
Wedding anniversary, that's right. So this is why they've both come to you. And what they're doing is they're bringing a bouquet of flowers for you, and that they're saying, we know that you'll be thinking of us, but we'll be very, very close to you anyway. You've also got a husband in spirit, haven't you? That's right, because he's just coming in now. And here again, he is very emotional as he's linking with you. And he's saying here, what a wonderful wife you were to him. And he's saying, especially towards the end, because he was very ill, wasn't he? Very ill before he passed into the spirit world. And he's saying here, he can never thank you enough for the happy years you had together. More importantly, how nice and kind and loving you were to him at the end. But he's saying, I'm absolutely fine now. All that has gone, and he's laughing now. He's laughing now. And did this gentleman like gardening?
No, he liked gardens.
Yeah, because I'm being taken into a garden, and that's where I'm seeing him. But he's with Mum and Dad as well. And as I say, I feel that there is or you said, haven't you, the wedding anniversary. So they'll all be there with you at that time. I've got a lady who wishes to link with you as well. It feels like a sister, but I don't feel it is. I feel that it was a lady that was a good friend to you. Can you place this lady?
I can, if it's a very dear friend, then I certainly can.
Yeah, I'm going.
My sister-in-law.
Yeah, but it's a cancer condition.
Yes, that's my very dear friend.
A very dear friend, isn't it, this one? That's the lady I'm after. And she's linking here as well, and she's coming into you, and she's saying she still treasures the friendship that you had, because you were close,
Very close, very close.
like sisters. In fact, that's why I couldn't tell if it was a sister or a friendship. She's full of laughter and fun, and that's how she was on the earth plane, wasn't it? But as I say, as the health deteriorated, then obviously, you know, that was a different matter. But she's saying, don't think of me the way I was before I passed. And she really is full of beans and a lovely face. She's got a really lovely face, this lady. And as I say, it's as if she can't stop smiling. And as I say, she also puts her arms out to you. And she said, with all my love, with all my love. I'm running over. Is that all right?
I don't mind.
Oh, okay. If I could come. So, as I say, that was a really nice message for you, because as I say, it's all laughter and happiness that's coming to you. So I'll leave you with that. Where shall I go now? I'll come to you if I may.
Yeah.
Hello, how are you? And as you've been sitting there, I felt the energy coming from you. Are you sitting for development?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you come to the church.
Having a pause.
Oh, having a pause.
Yeah, a COVID pause.
Oh, yeah, of course. I've got Dad in spirit.
Yeah.
He's coming close here, and I feel with him that he was had quite a strong personality about him. I've got a gentleman here whom I feel wouldn't suffer fools gladly, you know, and if anyone started anything else, he'd say, oh, that's absolute rubbish, and walk away. He couldn't put up with anything like that, could he? Talk sense to me and I'll have a conversation. If not, don't bother to talk to me. He was very straight down the middle, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he's coming around you here and he's saying how proud he is of you. And he's saying, do you feel him drawing close to you?
At times, yeah.
At times, yeah. And it's as if he's been following your progress. Okay. He said there's been one or two areas that were very difficult
Yeah.
for you. You know what he's talking about. And he had them as well when he was younger, here on the earth plane. You understand where we're going, but he's saying we've both come through those times,
Right.
and we landed on our feet, as he's putting it.
Yeah.
And then once we had to go through those situations to learn lessons,
Yeah.
which we took forward. We learned the lesson, and we will never make that mistake again.
Definitely not.
Definitely not, that's right. But he's coming around you and saying you're absolutely on the right pathway
Right.
now. And he's saying the only way you can go is up. And things are a lot better around you
Yeah.
and within, aren't they? He's saying how proud he is of you, and that's a big thing coming from
It is.
a
yes.
man like
It
your
is,
dad,
yeah.
isn't it? That is a big thing, and it means a lot to you
Yeah.
because you've thought back a lot about him, haven't you? Mum as well, but as I say, it's his strength and his straight talking, and he doesn't say this lightly, does he? That he's really proud of you.
Thank you.
And he says all his love, and Mum's obviously, but she's letting him talk, comes to you. Carry on the way you're going, and as I say, you will be coming back to doing the spiritual work.
Right. Okay.
And they're showing me a ladder which you are going to climb.
Oh, right.
So
Sounds
it's looking really good for you,
Thank
isn't
you.
it? Has there been a problem with work?
You could say that, yeah.
A problem with work around you? That's coming through as well. But they're saying don't lose heart. Keep trying,
Okay.
and they're doing all they can to help you to go forward on the work front.
Thank you.
Okay, so for you, I feel that it's all going to be good.
Right.
It will come, because they're saying for what you've been through, you deserve it, and this is the time, as I say, when things are really going to open out for you. So I'll leave you with that.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Irene. Thank you, David. Just a quick couple of notices. This Sunday we have the lovely Elaine Bevan taking our service at 11 a.m. Please don't forget that, Sunday mornings now. This weekend we have Craig Morris with us. His private sittings for tomorrow have all now sold out. Friday night at 7:30 there is an evening demonstration of mediumship with Craig. There are a few tickets left for that, as there are for the workshop on the Saturday between 10 and 4:30, embracing your mediumship. The next Wednesday service is yet to be confirmed who will be taking that. Going further afield, 2 weeks today, we will have our second healing service here in the church. That is where we have guest speakers coming in, and that service we have Brian Walker, who is a psychic surgeon, will be coming in to talk about psychic surgery. We'll be leading a meditation, and then we hand over to our church healers for spiritual healing. So that's 2 weeks today. I would believe that's the 2nd of June. So that concludes the notices, and leaves me now to ask David for the closing prayer. Thank you, David.
Thanks, Lawrence. Well, we all got a message today, didn't we? Within the church or at home, is to do all we can to make this world a better place for us being here, by sending out our love and our light each day in prayer or meditation in the most simplest of ways, and appreciate our own lives and the loved ones and friends that we have around us. So let us close our eyes now on the closing prayer. Dearest Father, Divine Spirit, as our service comes to a close, may we thank you for all the wonderful things that we've enjoyed today through our service, the warmth of each other's company here or at home, and of course the efforts that have been made by our loved ones and friends in the spirit world to join us and to bring their warmth of love, of light, of companionship and support to us during our service. We know they are only ever a thought distant from us. And so, dear Father, as we make our way homewards, we ask that you will share that journey with us, living within our homes, within our hearts and within our minds, helping each of us through the days ahead to always share our love and our light unconditionally with those who will touch our pathway, fellow members of the human family, the animal kingdom, and may we at all times show due respect for the beautiful natural world, and especially for Mother Earth herself. Amen. Amen. Thank you.
David, Irene, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Absolutely
Lawrence.
beautiful service.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
thank you, thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Pleasure. Thank you everybody who joined us at home online. Thank you, Pauline, for being in the room and greeting people in our virtual platform now. Most of all, thank you all to you wonderful people who have attended today.
Marsh.
I do know that you've enjoyed it. I do find it quite amusing that all the healers got a message as well, seeing as the theme was on healing today. I was just having a little giggle there. All it remains to do now, sadly, no teas or coffees at the moment, not even a gin and tonic or a pina colada. Not on, is it? I would ask, as you leave the church, if you leave from the rear first, Paula, I need to see you before you leave the church, please, my darling. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Lawrence.
I'll be back in 1 minute. I just need to do something.